जय जय गौर चंद्र जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा. All glories to Gaur Chandra, all glories to Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. जय जय शिवासादि गौर भक्तगण, शक्ति देह करिय न चैतन्य वर्णनम. All glories to the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Shivas Thakur. I beg their power so that I can properly describe Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we also beg power so that we can describe this pastime of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we were in verse number 17 too. So we are in Madhya Lila, chapter 12, verse, and I think the screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
प्रथमई काशी मिश्रा प्रभु बोलाइला, परीक्षा पात्र सर्वभौम बोलैया आनीला. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first of all called for Kashi Mishra, then for the superintendent of temple, and then for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So this is a very good example. Then when we do things, we should take opinion of everybody and do things together. तीन जन पासे प्रभु हासिया कहिला, गुंडीचन मंदिर मार्चना सेवा मागी नीला. When these three people came before the Lord, he begged them for permission to wash the temple known as Gundicha. So something about Gundicha is given by Prabhupada. So the Gundicha temple is situated 2 miles northeast of the Jagannath temple. At the time of Rath Yatra festival, Lord Jagannath goes to the Gundicha temple from his original temple and stays there for 1 week. After 1 week, he returns to his original temple. It is understood by hearsay that the wife of Indradu, the king of who established the Jagannath temple, was known as Gundicha. There is also mention of the name of the Gundicha temple in the authoritative scripture. The area of the Gundicha temple is estimated to be 288 cubits or by 215 cubits. A cubit is about a foot and a half. The main temple inside is about 36 cubits by 30 cubits, and the Kirtana hall is 32 cubits by 30 cubits. Some information that Gundicha was Mata was the wife of Indra. That is Jagannath ji is going to his mother's house according to something. So, and for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, he is going from Dwarka to Vrindavan. परीक्षा कहे आमी सब सेवक तुम्हारा, ये तो मारा इच्छा से ही कर्तव्य आमारा. Upon hearing the Lord's request for permission to wash the Guncha temple, the Paricha, the superintendent of the temple, said, "My dear sir, we are all your servants. Whatever desire is our duty to perform." विशेष राजा आज्ञा हैया छे न हमारा, प्रभुरा आज्ञा यही से शीघ्र करी बार. The king gave a special order for me to do without delay whatever your lordship orders. So our submissiveness to authorities depend on how fast we act on the orders. Here, if we see, because they are completely and they were just waiting for the orders of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they were ready to execute. It doesn't mean that we haste actively, but we actively do something or we haste in things. But our inner core is that we are ready to act whenever is needed. That is what here we can see that the king gave a special order for me to do without delay what the lordship orders. So the more delay is there, sometimes it may show that we are not so submissive. It doesn't mean, see, sometimes there may be circumstances also. Like Prabhupada was given the order to preach, but he waited for so many years and he started. So there may be some delay for some orders, but internally, what is the mode is that one does not do much delay when the order comes. तोमारा योग्य सेवा नाह मंदिर नाहे मंदिर माजना, यही एक लीला करे ये तो मारा manam. My dear Lord, washing the temple is not service befitting to you. Nonetheless, if you wish to do so, it is to be accepted as one of your pastimes. So it is also pastime washing the temple. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will teach us so many lessons in washing the temple. किंतु घट समाजिनी बहुत छाइया आज्ञा देह आजी सब यहाँ आए आने दिया. To wash the temples, you need many water pots and brooms. Therefore, order me, I can immediately bring all these things to you. So whenever we give them some service, we need also to give them some instruments to do that service. Just giving some service is not important. We should empower them. We should give whatever material is required to do that service. Like we see in so many places, people are told to do services, but they are not given the power to act actually. So without giving them sufficient power, resources and all, one cannot expect that the devotees can do services. So here also he's telling that we'll bring some water pots and brooms so that these services can be done. नूतन एक सत घट सत समाजे जनी पाड़ी पड़ी छानिया दिल प्रभुर इच्छा जानी. As soon as the Superior understood the desire of the Lord, he immediately delivered 100 new water pots and 100 brooms for sweeping the temple. So as soon as he understood, he brought. Aradina prabhate layya nijagana sihaste sapara angele pila chandana. The next day, early in the morning, the Lord took his personal associate with him and with his own hands smeared sandalwood pearl upon their bodies. So we know similarly when the warriors used to go for war, they would decorate themselves with so many ornaments and so many things as if somebody is going for a marriage or something. So that is what and the respect given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the service by smelling sandalwood shows how much he cares for them and how much he respects them. Similarly, when some guest comes to us, we also should try whatever we can. Uh, if we cannot give some garland or something, at least with sweet words, we can tell them to, we can respect them, we can uh, tell them to come. So, very important thing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is treating his associates and how we should treat the devotees. So, this is the standard set by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And especially the one who are close to us, must be treated very nicely because that is where the most aparadha happens. If we see in our life also, the most aparadh will happen with the closest one. Like in the family, husband and wife, they are the most chances where most offenses will occur because that is where they are both common, or the children and parents, or like we have counselor and counselees or mentors and mentees. So these relationships are places where one can grow very fast. At the same time, if there are offenses, these are the places where one will go very slow in devotional service. So therefore, very important that how we deal with our very dear and near ones will represent how our bhakti lata will grow. श्रीहस्त अदिल सबार एक एक माजनी सब गणा गणा लैया प्रभु चलिलापनी. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave something which no other avatar has ever given. Nobody has given. And what is that? He then gave his devotee a broom with his own hand. So no avatara ever has given a broom to anybody. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the broom. So clearing things, and then in taking all them personally with him, he went to Lord Gundisha. So again we see here the Lord is leading in the front. So nowadays if we see any army, any chief or something, they will sit in a place, or any person we see, and they will send some other soldiers, some other people actually. No leader will go in the front, they will do the meeting and everything. But if we see in the Vedic style, the kings or somebody would go in the front to fight. So here also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is uh, himself going, taking personally them and showing example. So sometimes it may be possible, sometimes may not be possible. So whatever is feasible, we should try to do. But the standard is that if the leader is with the people doing things, then the things become easier, because people don't do what we say, but people do what we do. So if we say that please don't use mobiles, but if we are using, then it will have no effect on them. So very important, people don't do what we say, but people do what we do, what they see that we are doing. So therefore, if we are also doing what we are saying, then it will be very, very easy for us to get the work done. Otherwise, it will be difficult, or work or any seva or something, whatever needs to be done. So here also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is going with them personally. गुंडीचा मंदिर गेला की करी ते माजना प्रथमे majani रैया करील शोधाना. In this way, the Lord and his sisters went to cleanse the Gundisha temple. At first, they cleansed the temple with the broom. So this is some starting cleaning, and again, so many cleaning will happen. So and everything will go deep, deep, and deep. So the first they are just doing with the broom, and they are following. भीतर मंदिरे ऊपर सकल माजिला सिंहासन माजी पुनः स्थापना करीला. The Lord cleans everything inside temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He then took up the sitting place Simhasana and cleans it and again put it in the original place. So, very important here, see, he cleans everything inside, including ceiling also. So, he's doing thorough work. And actually, we clean for the ceiling first, then the walls and the floor, the last thing. Otherwise, if we do reverse, then what will happen? We have to clean again. So, he's there doing the job. छोटा बड़ा मंदिरा कैला माजन शोधाना पाछे तैछे शोधिला श्री जगमोहन. Thus the Lord and his companions cleansed and stripped all the temple buildings, big and small, and finally cleansed the area between the temple and the Kirtan hall. So this is also thorough work. So many times what happens is, when somebody is going to come, what we do, we clean the main area, main place, and others we leave it. So if we see His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, what he will do, he will go in the temple and go to the toilet first and say that if toilet is clean, then everything is clean. If the temple hall is clean, that will not matter much. He will see that one thing, that whether toilet is clean or not. So a very important thing, that when we also do our work, we should do it thoroughly as far as our capacity goes. That also we should look. But he cleans all the things, big and small, everything. So including the area between temple hall and Kirtan hall. चारिक सत भक्त समाज न करे आपनी शोधे न प्रभु सिखाए न सबare. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. So again, as I told, one does not do what is being told, but one does what is done. So here also, if we see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others, so that others may do the way he does. If we see the initial years in Chowpatty also, Radhanath Maharaj himself, if we see, he taught all the leaders how to do work and things. So on Saturdays, he used to have this Sankirtan for so many hours and hours, and he would close the door. For anybody who will come late, he cannot enter inside. And inside you will have very, very large, long kirtans. Similarly, he told that first he told that those who are in management position should chant more rounds and all. And then he told that, okay, if that's not possible, at least every Ekadashi, the manager should not discuss anything management, but should chant 64 rounds. And if you see his example also, his own his example, his personal life also, he has chanted, he has done so much devotional service, and that is the reason why people are inspired to do devotional service. So one who has not practiced cannot preach others. If we want to preach others, we need to practice that thing. So whenever we tell others that please chant in the morning, or please chant the Brahma Muhurat, or we say that read Bhagavatam or any other things. If we are not personally doing, that thing will not have any effect on others. Similarly, we can raise others only till the point or level we are. If we are not that advanced, we cannot uplift other also. So, if somebody is preaching to any congregation or a devotee or something, so first he has to raise his own standards, and therefore, if that is not done, then one cannot tell others, and others' standards will not be raised anyways. So, very important thing that all the leaders and all should have a very, very good sadhana. If that is not there, then very soon the congregation will not be there only. So, very important that this sadhana of leaders should be exemplary, and that should be focused the first thing, that should be given the first priority, and then others will anyways follow on. It will anyways go on. प्रेमोल्लास शोधने लयना कृष्ण नाम भक्त गण कृष्ण कहे करे निज काम. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu washed and cleansed the temple in great jubilation, chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna all the time. Similarly, all the devotees were also chanting at the same time, performing their respective duties. So this is very important thing here. So first of all, whatever we do, we should do it enthusiasmally. So if we see prema ulasa, so with great jubilation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is cleansing temple. So whatever service we do, either we should have enthusiasm, or at least we should act as if we have enthusiasm. That is the first thing, that whatever we do, we will do it enthusiasmally. Second, chanting the holy name of Krishna at all time. So very important. Whatever we do, even if when we are taking prasadam, when we are cooking, when whatever we are doing, our tongue should constantly vibrate the holy name. That will have tremendous effect on overall spirituality. Especially for Matajis, if they can chant while cooking, then the holy name will enter the bhoga, holy name will enter the sabji, the holy name will enter everything, and whoever eat will definitely become devotee very fast. And we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this was done by Vishnu Priya, the wife of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, so Vishnu Priya would chant the whole day, taking one grain of rice and putting there in another cup. So one grain she would take, chant the whole name, put under them. And then in the evening or whatever time it is, so she would collect all, then cook and then eat. So similarly, following her footsteps, if the Mata in the house, they can chant while they are cooking, while they are cutting sabji, while they are cooking and everything. That will have tremendous, tremendous effect on the consciousness of all the devotees. I can give so many examples for this. There was one family in which Prabhuji was constantly very angry on Mataji. And we know Mataji has no other sources to remove her anger. What she used to do, she would remove her anger while cooking. So, when the burtan and all, they are banging or some very hard things are. So they had constant complaints. So once one of devotee told the Mataji that, why don't you chant the holy name and cook? So what happened is she started that, and after some time, uh, the husband also became very, very soft-hearted. And the reason then came is that what was happening was, because the husband was very angry on the wife, so wife would make the cooking or the food or the bhoga very in angry mood. So same anger would enter into the husband, and again what will happen? It will come out. So if we want that the consciousness of person should change, then it's very important that whoever is cooking should have very good mood. And we know one of our councils also told that his Dadaji, he would just see the food and tell in what consciousness the lady has cooked the food. So once he invited so many brahmanas to his house, and the two ladies, his wife and somebody, cooking for the whole day for so much hours. And after the food was ready, it was offered. The husband told to throw away all the food, and the brahmanas there were very angry. They said that what atyachar are you doing to your wife and all? That they cooked for so many hours, and after doing so much labor, they offer and you are saying to throw all them. Then he understood and he called his wife and everything, and he asked that what were you doing while you were cooking? So keeping her head down, she said that we are just fighting on something and cooking. So he said that this is the reason I am telling I am telling her that throw away and cook again. So this is a very tremendous bit. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Vishayla Anna Khaila Malin Hoye Man. So if we eat food uh, which is uh, which is cooked, or which is the money for which is come by somebody who is a Vishay, then it will have effect on our sadhana also. And therefore, generally the devotees who stay in temple, who eat whatever is given through donations, their sadhana will have very effect if the money which is coming is not pure. And therefore they should be very they should have more precaution while eating and doing so. Only we should eat that what is necessary for our body and not for sense gratification. If that is not being done, many brahmacharis and everything will leave the ashram very fast. So this is very important. In what consciousness is cook put. Second, apart from that, sometimes we need to eat at many places where the cooked food is not from devotees, or not from the people who are chanting, having good standards. Then what the person who is taking prasadam should do is he should chant the holy name while taking prasadam. In that way, what will happen is whatever food is going inside, what is prasadam is going inside, will have a good effect, or they will have effect in the mode of goodness. Otherwise, the conscience of the person who has made the food will enter the person who is eating the food, and it will affect his sadhana very badly. So therefore, if there is no other alternative, then one should chant while eating the food. One should chant while drinking the water. In that way, what will happen is one's consciousness will be protected. Otherwise, uh, to protect one's consciousness is not so easy. And therefore, we see so many devotees say that my chanting is not going good, my reading is not going good. It's always going upside down. It is not constant and all. So one of the basic reason is we are not taking care of what we are eating, when we are eating, how who has cooked the food and all. So this packed foods and outside hotel foods and all this, if we eat now, and our consciousness will definitely go down, and that will affect uh, our hearing and chatting very badly. So, and I have seen so many senior devotees who are chanting 64 rounds and all. They are very cautious of where they are taking the prasadam. They will not eat from even from the hands of devotees who do not have that standards. Otherwise, as the water flows from up to down, suppose somebody is chanting 64 rounds and he is eating prasadam from the hands who is chanting 16 rounds. So gradually his chanting will also come down from 64 to 16. If he is not very cautious, he will have to struggle hard to maintain the consciousness. And therefore, very important that one should try to uh, improve one's hearing and chanting. And therefore, if one chants in mind whenever uh, is required, then what will happen is he will not be affected by all these things. So therefore, similarly, all the devotees were also chanting at the same time, performing their respective duties. So whatever duty one is performing, whether cooking, whether driving or whatever, with that, if one can chant the holy name, that is the best. Because after some years, what happens is one gets accustomed to that doing the job, and it is done mechanically actually. So that time our tongue is not engaged, and therefore that can be used for chanting and hearing more and more. So I hope this point is very clear that we should chant more. Second, while also sleeping, also if one chants 1 or 2 rounds before going to sleep, then what happens is, because daily we are dealing with so many people with so many different consciousness, what happens in the dreams and the night, the thoughts of the whole day comes even next day. So one thing one can do is chant 1 or 2 rounds while going to sleep. So it will circulate in his whole body, and then it will have very good effect on his consciousness while getting up also. So this one can try, and it will work, but not immediately, but within some few months. So one need to do all these things. And another thing one can do to improve chanting is one can chant in mind that I am chanting with a saint or somebody, like I am chanting with Sarup Damodar Goswami ji, or I am Haridas Thakur is hearing my chanting or something he can do. Or he can also pray to Goswamis and others that please help me to chant good rounds, or please, uh, or you can help, ask them to recommend his name to Lord or something. So this can be done. Then another thing is one can do to improve chanting is to offer their obeisances to the Japmala, because Japmala is the made of Tulsi is also living entity actually, and it reciprocates. It is good reciprocation. And I also experienced this, that when our thoughts are not good and we are chanting the rounds, what happens is the mala itself has so many knots, then it gets jumbled up inside. So because if we are doing aparadhana, then it happens sometimes that the mala is jumbled up inside, and we need to then remove the knots and then do things. So this is a sign that it's leaving, and it will have some effect if we are not doing. So this is very important to do these things. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is showing by his way, the way in great jubilation is doing the work at the same time chanting the holy name. So there is no restriction, or there is nobody who can stop us from chanting the holy name or from progressing in the spiritual life. It is ourselves who are not doing things properly, and therefore our progress is being halted. So this is a very important thing, and one should try whatever one can to improve one's hearing and chanting of the holy name. Then 86 was धूलि धूसर तनु देखित शोभाना कहाँ कहाँ अश्रु जल कर समाजाना. The entire beautiful body of the Lord was covered with dust and dirt. In this way, it became transcendently beautiful. At times, when cleansing the temple, the Lord shed tears, and in some places, he even cleansed with those tears. So, Lord's body became beautiful, and he was shedding tears. These are tears of jubilation. So, when one does bhakti nicely, one will have these tears, and it will come on its own time. So this is also good. भोग मंदिर शोधन करी शोधिला प्रांगण सकल आवास क्रम करिल शोधन. So we see most of the times we say that the bhakti is not systematic or something, but we see here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing things systematically. So after this, the place where deity's food was kept, Bhogamam was cleansed, and then the yard was cleansed, and then all resident cattle one after the another. So he's doing things in a sequence. He's not doing abruptly that now first doing this, then this, and this. No. So he's doing in proper sequence. He's doing systematically. So Therefore, we should also be doing our things systematic manner. Otherwise, the progress will be very slow. तृणधूलि जिनको सब एकत्र करिया बाहिर वासे लैया फैलाया बाहिर करिया. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu collected the straw, dust, and grains of sand in one place, he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside. So this we generally do. Whatever dust is there, we throw it outside. यही मत भक्तेरा भक्त गण करी निज वास तीन धूलि बाहिर फैलाए परम हरि से. निज वास. For the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees in great tribulation began to gather straw and dust with their own hands, cloths, and throw them outside temple. So again, we see here how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing this example, and then he's setting a standard of how to clean the temple, how to clean the Gurnicha. So they're all throwing it outside. प्रभु कहे कि कत करी अच्छा संभाजना तेन धूलि देखा देखी लई जानी व परिश्रम. So most of the times we see that we don't set targets. We say that we should do bhakti as what we can do. We should try. But here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting target for the devotees. He's saying that I will check. I will check. The Lord and told the devotees, I can tell how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing the straw and dust you have collected outside. So results speak about the efforts. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is comparing what results will you bring, and that will tell me how much you have endeavored. So sometimes we say that we should not look for result, we should just do a bhakti and all. But that's not the case every time. Results also matter. Suppose somebody is preaching in one place for 10 years and not a single person becomes a devotee, then we need to think, we need to change the place, we need to change the strategy, we need to change the person there, we need to do something because we also need results. Because we have very short time, we have very less resources and everything, and we need to use it effectively in Lord's service. So if it's not done, then we need to change the things. And therefore, here also, if we see, he's saying how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing the straw and dust you have collected outside. So after seeing everything, I will decide that how good work you have done. Then even though all the devotees collected dirt in one pile, the dirt collected by Chaitanya Prabhu was much greater. So one can become a leader if he can do better things than other. Suppose somebody wants to lead in singing, and if himself is not good singer, then it will be difficult for him to lead. Similarly, some work has to be done. If he is not expert himself, it will be difficult for him to lead others because people need expertise, people need results. So here if we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking other devotees to also gather dust and pile, but his pile of dirt is much, much, much greater. And that also greater than not by one devotee. All the devotees gathered together, all the devotees collected dirt in one pile, still the dirt of much greater. So expertise is also one ingredient which is needed for anybody to become a leader. It is not that just by good intention one can be leader. Good intention should always be there. It is not that one should not have bad intentions. No, one should definitely have good intentions. But with good intentions also, one need to have experience. One need to have expertise in that subject matter. Then one can easily lead others. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for the leaders to get followers to do the work. Not so easy. And then afterwards, he's also delegating the things. Yei mata abhyantara karila majana puna sabakara dil kariyavat vantana. After the inside temple was cleansed, the Lord again allotted areas for devotees to clean. So here he is delegating different areas. So one devotee who is doing the work will not be able to find the faults in what he is doing, but others can. So what he is doing is, first he's allotted all the places for them to clean. Now the person who has cleansed the area for the first time, he's allotted a different area, so that from different angle he can see and cleanse the other area, and this his area is cleansed by other people. So this also helps when the things are delicate again. So new devotees or new persons can see your faults more easily, and can the cleansing can happen more uh, easily, and it can go deep. Sukshma duli trina kankara sabakara dura bhala mata sodana kara pabura antapura. The Lord then ordered everyone to cleanse the inside of temple very perfectly by taking finer dust, straws, and grains of sand and throwing them outside. So here we see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing due diligence, where see first when they cleanse with the broom, they just started to cleanse from upper, then going deep, deep, deep. Similarly, as years pass by, our sadhana should also go deep, deep, and deep. Our reading, our hearing should all go deep. If it's not going deep, and if we remain shallow devotees, then very soon we'll be out of business, or we'll be soon out of devotion service. If we see in the river or in the ocean, the fish which is floating upside will be caught the first, and it cannot survive more. But the fishes who are diving deep, deep in the ocean or river can survive for a long time, and not they cannot be easily caught by anybody. Similarly, if one is just doing devotion service outside, or just on the shallow upper surface, what will happen? The Maya will soon pick him. But one who is deep inside, one who is doing devotion service very deep, the Maya will not able to catch him or her. So therefore, as time goes by, we should try that our bhakti, our japa, our hearing, chanting should all go deep. Deep in the sense we should have more clear understanding, more time should be spent, and more clearer should be a vision of things. And we all know the more purification we should have. So these things need to be done. Otherwise, very difficult to go in the long run. सब वैष्णवालयाय बदुई दुई बार शोदीला देखी महाप्रभुर मन संतोष हैला. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all Vaishnavas cleaned the temple for second time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see the cleansing work. So whenever some cleansing work happens, maybe in our room or maybe inside, we should understand that Krishna is very happy, Lord is happy, very happy. And therefore we see that cleanliness is next to godliness, or whatever is clean, that the Lord stays there. So therefore, and this is the Shastra which is saying that Krishna is happy. So therefore, many times when we do some things, we are looking for some recognition. Somebody will pat us, will say that how good work is done. But sometimes we can just infer from Shastras only that Krishna is happy when we do such things. Like if we are chanting, we should understand that when we are chanting, Krishna is definitely happy because we are taken to devotion service. We did not have external some appreciation or somebody external recognition for our services which we are doing. It will not be every time there, but we should understand the Shastra that, oh, these things are very dear to Lord, and therefore here also we Chaitanya was very happy see the cleansing work. आरसत जन सत घाटा जल भरी प्रथमे लैया छे काल अपेक्षा करी. When the temple was being swept, about 100 men stood ready with filled water pots, and they simply waited the Lord's order to throw the water from them. So if you see here also, no things cannot happen without assistance. Without teamwork, nothing can happen. And second, we should know what are the critical things in the work. Like if some major work has to be done, some bridge has to be built or something has to be done. So the first thing should be look after critical factors and they should be work first. Otherwise, they will block the whole progress of all the things. Here, if we see, while one team is doing the cleansing of temple with the brushes and all, the other team is ready with the water pots. So this is how things are to be done. And therefore, the leader, when we do one thing, we should have in mind what is the next step to be done. And we should make the things ready for the next step to happen. Otherwise, uh, things will not be happening so fast. And the thing is, the people who are doing will go astray. Here also, if we see, the other devotees are being ready, that as soon as the first thing is going done, the second thing, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instruction will come and they will do this. And again, here also we see, if there are too many people having so many opinions, now work doesn't happen actually. If there is only one person who is overlooking things and all, then the work happens very fast. So democracy is good, but in overall sense, it will not bring good results. So people can give opinion and everything, but there should be some senior, somebody who knows the path and who's experienced and who can tell, oh, no, this way, this way. It doesn't mean that decision taken rashly, but thing is, the leader can give reasons that why is a decision taken. But most of times, democracy doesn't work so much in so many places. So here, they simply awaited a large water to throw the water from them. जलानि बलि अब महाप्रभु कहिला तबे सत घाटानि प्रभु आगे दीला. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for water, all the men immediately brought the 100 water pots, which were completely filled and delivered with them before the hand. So they were ready, and therefore, as soon as the first service was over, the second set of people were ready, and they gave the water pots. So such should be our also service, that other things are ready when the first thing is done, second is on the line and things are going on. Pratama Karila Prabhu Mandira Prakshalana Urdhva Ado Bhiti Graha Madhya Simhasana. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first washed the main temple and then thoroughly washed the ceiling, the walls, the floor, the sitting place, and everything else in the room. So if you see the sequence, see, he is washing for the ceiling, the upper part, then the walls, then floor, and the sitting place, Simhasan. So this is a sequence in which things are to be done. If the ceiling is washed afterwards, then what will happen? The dust will again come down. So while doing services, we should know the sequence in what is to be done. Otherwise, what will happen? The services themselves will have conflict with each others. And that is not good actually. If the floor is first washed, and then it starts with the walls, and then afterwards the ceiling, what will happen? You have to do again the work again and again. So that is not good. The best thing is that if the work is done once only, it is better. So here also, if we see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is himself going in sequence. So he's doing sequentially work. He's not doing haphazardly any work, because sometimes bhakti means they say, oh, only the bhav is important. How we do work is not important. So that is not the case. That is should also be looked after. Khapara bhariya jala urdhva chali chalaila sei jala urdhva sori bhiti prakshalina. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself and his devotees began to throw water on the ceiling. When this water fell, it washed the walls and the floor. See, this is the way things are done. So if the ceiling is washed, automatically the walls are also washed because the water is coming. So if one activity is done in a way, then others can also be done easily. So this is how the work should be done. Suppose somebody prepares one class. So the class should be so prepared that afterwards one can make a video, one can also edit, can give to some newspapers, can even like what Gauranga Darshan Prabhu does. Afterwards, a book is coming to come, and the same article can be so many places. So in this way, the work becomes easy and it can have effect at multiple levels. So here also see the water is first kept on the ceiling, then it falls on the walls and then on the floor. Shrihasta karena sammasana simhasana marjana prabhu age jala anideya bhakta gana. So here also see how he's taking the main part in role and the others are assisting them. So here also assistance is needed. Bhaktagana kare griha madhye prakshalana, nija nija haste kare mandira majana. All the devotees within the temple began to wash. Each one had a broom in his hand, and in this way they cleansed the temple of the Lord. केहा जल आनि दिया महाप्रभुराकारे केहा जल दिया तारे शरण उपारे. Someone brought water to pour into the hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone poured water on his lotus feet. So it is not necessary when we are working, we should always very serious, and no, sometimes we can also have fun. See, our intention should be to doing the service. Here also, if we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have water pastimes for some time. So one should not do work as if some load is being, oh, abhi ye karna hai, no. One should also enjoy the work. One should have some things where he also gets nourished. So here also they are doing some enjoyment. And next is mercy. केह लुकाया करे से जलपान केह मागे लय केह अन्य करे दान. The water that fell from the lotus feet of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was drunk by someone who hid himself. Someone else begged for that water, and another person was given that water in charity. So whenever we get mercy, we should grab it. So, so whenever whenever we have that, get the mercy, we should grab it. So mercy can come in its own time, but we should be ready to take the mercy. So here if we see, sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they are putting some water and giving to him. Sometimes they are putting on lotus feet. And that time somebody is there to drink the water and heal himself. So we don't know when the mercy will come. So first thing, you should be ready, and wherever the mercy is available, we should grab it. Like sometimes somebody takes Mahaprasad and says, no, I will not eat now, or I will eat later on something, or there may be some reasons here and there. But mercy should be taken as and where is required. And we don't know in what form mercy will come. Sometimes mercy comes as this prasad, and sometimes it may come in the form of chastisement. So both are mercy. And we see in the case of Pratapruddha Maharaj, when one of his servant got one slap from one of the devotee, and the person was going to retaliate, but the Pratapruddha said that, oh, you have got such a mercy in form of slap. You got the touch of devotee. I never got. So mercy can come in any form, but we should be ready to grab that mercy. And therefore, here also, and see here, again, they are distributing the mercy with others. So somebody is taking it, giving to others, somebody other is asking in charity and all. So whenever I get mercy, it should also be distributed. Like knowledge, if it is not transferred to other, then soon it will also leave the person who has it. And similarly, if the paths are not being walked, if there are some paths, and like you know the Pagadandi, if they are not walked, soon the grass will come and the paths will not be seen. So very important that we transfer the knowledge to the next generation, what we have. Otherwise, if we don't transfer the knowledge, the line of knowledge will stop. Like we have Guru Gar Parampara. So why this Guru Parampara is there? That one Guru gives to another, and this way the Guru Parampara goes on, and the knowledge is being there afresh, and it can be given to others. Similarly, if we don't pass on to others, then the knowledge will die. So therefore, this also is an important thing to know. Ghar dui pa prana, ghar duri pana likaya jala chhari dila, se jala prangana sab bhari bhariya rahila. After the room was washed, the water was let out through an outlet, and then it flowed and filled the yard outside. निज वस कैला प्रभु गृह समाजन महाप्रभु निज वसे माजिला simhasana. The Lord mopped the rooms with his own cloths, and he polished the throne with them also. See, another thing, yeah, the sacrifice Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing, the resources which he is using his own clothes for the service of Chaitanya, the Lord. So he's giving everything. See, he is a sannyasi, he has given money and everything. Now the cloths which he's having, he also use that. So he mopped the room with his own cloths and he probably thrown with them also. So he's doing so many sacrifice of his own things. And this way he's showing to others how detached he is and how everything can be used in Krishna's service. So we should try our best, whatever resources we have, whether we have wealth, whether we have our uh, personal body, birds, actually whatever we have, whatever level we can use in Krishna's service, we should try to use. So this level may not be possible for us where we give everything, even our clothes and everything for Krishna's service. But at least we should try whatever we can gradually improve, maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, gradually come to a level where we can surrender everything to Krishna. So this is an ongoing process where one should grow and improve upon. So I think we'll stop here. Thank you very much. And